So felt pretty good here yesterday. One to this carousel.
Okay.
Felt okay. Also wasn't really pushing speed too crazy, but I was trying to find my happy mile per hour in this thing. Like,
yeah, it's
like
kind
a
of
carousel at Sonoma.
It's one of those things where, you know, as long as you're on maintenance throttle and you're not coming in too hot, and then, you know, get all your braking and downshifts or whatever done before you are into the turn, so you can be on maintenance throttle the whole time through. You know, you'll feel the car might step out a little bit, but as long as you're not heavily lifting, you can back off a little bit. As long as you're not heavily lifting, you'll kind of find where the happy spot is for the car as far as what it wants to do there and when it's going to either start pushing or oversteering, depending on what the car is more prone to.
This last turn and then this one up and over yesterday is what I really was working on.
Yeah.
They're so
now, this is good. You're letting the car track out just enough, but not too much there. And yeah, out there is a little better. It's less lumpy. And like if I like to be like one car length left of center. Okay. But coming over the hill at a slight angle. Yeah. So that when I land, I don't have to make a turn.
So you're already kind of pointing.
I'm already kind of pointed, almost like threading the needle, you know, pointed towards the inside of the turn exit. Okay. So you're kind of coming up over the hill at a little bit of an angle. That's the way I like to hit it, because then I can just drop right in and be on throttle the whole time without having to, you know, make a correction, especially when the vehicle is light. You come up over the hill and then you're landing, but it's not really like a full weight transfer as if you like were braking on it. So you're just landing and then trying to give the car some input, and it doesn't always like that. I've found it's a little wiggly.
Yeah, it's definitely an odd feeling.
Just staying right on this one until right there. About good. A lot of people start as speed increases, they start meandering over before they make their turn, and then it puts you in the dirt. You know what I mean? Because it sets you up in the wrong spot in the turn.
Yeah, translating with like increased pace is definitely something that you always got to be conscious of. And I've learned it's like right now it's like, oh yeah, it's a good turn-in point, but then once you can pick up speed, you're like, oh wait.
Yeah, well, that's the hard thing to keep in your brain, is that the turn-in point stays the same, right? Yeah. And especially this one. It's just having your right tire on it, just like that, exactly. Because a lot of people start moving over, and then they do their turn, and it sticks them out by the tires. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
And since I've never really driven in rain. Yep. Is it like not as stable hitting the paint on those curbs?
It depends on the curb. Depends on the curbs. Some of them are like perforated, or what do you call it? They're textured, and so they have probably more grip than the pavement in some spots. But some of these guys, like this, it's going to be a little more slick. So I would, probably stay like all this out here. It's tons of grip. It's all rough and I wouldn't have any issue with that. But this one I'd probably stay off of, only because that's the one that can rotate the car and put you to the inside of the wall. It's one of the only
And I've seen that at like 11, 12, the S2 one time. Yep. I was here last year, so I was like, you know what, that reminds me, maybe I should stay off the paint.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had an issue when it's not raining hitting those paint marks. But if it's actual water on track like this, not just damp from the session before or something, I would.
And where do you like to apex this? I've seen the little late cutout.
Apex. So this turn we start at 3/4 of the way to the right, like one car length off the right, and then it's a slow progression to the inside the whole way around. So you're not sitting out the whole way around, you're not hugging the inside the whole way around. You're slowly working your way to the inside, kind of like if you've run Sonoma, the carousel. It's that same concept. You're coming in, kind of more towards the outside, working your way in, so that when you hit that late apex, you look straight ahead of you and you're looking right at the track out. Yeah. Right where you want to be to, not at the beginning of the track out like here. You're looking like right up here where you're just going to kind of barely touch it, or go towards that last 3/4, and then you're on your way, and you don't have to pinch the turn off or make any corrections. That was better.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying not to get too far left yesterday because it was creeping up on me, but that felt better than the bogey inside.
The line is, like I said, kind of 1 car length or width off
Yeah.
of the left side, so you're left of center. And like I said, I like to, as I'm coming up the hill, be even a little more left than that, so that when I get to the spot I'm supposed to be before going over the hill, I am then 1 car length or width off, but my car is angled slightly. So that when I come over, I don't have to make much of a correction or steering input.
Sure.
And here I like to hit the rumble strips early, because at speed, that's one of those spots where it's really going to be, the centrifugal force is going to be pushing your car off the outside. So I would use as much of that rumble strip as possible, because that's one of those turns you can, you don't have to brake through it, brake in, and you can really carry a lot of speed through there. But it is you got to use all the track.
Good morning, day 2 of NASA Thunderhill with Start Racing. And if you can't tell by the garb, it's a little cold and chilly's baby back ribs out here, trying to survive. Half of us roughed it in the cold intense last night. Me and Ricky elected for Motel 6, the finest establishment, and had my first intro session today with my new instructor. Went pretty chill. He reaffirmed a lot of things I was working on yesterday. Gave me a couple other suggestions, different lines, like the carousel, starting out a little further, waiting a little longer to hit the late apex there. Gave me a line that I felt comfortable with up and over 5, the weird off-camber lopsided turn from hell. But yeah, we're going to dive back into some sessions today. It is actively sprinkling, praying it stays at a sprinkle, but we shall see. I'm going to keep y'all updated. Going to get some more POV footy here and go from there. right, we just wrapped up our second session in classroom download. Boy, it was raining, it was dark, there was puddles, it was scary, but I had a good time. I learned a lot. I mean, really focused on smooth inputs, throttle, brake, turn-ins. So I feel like it really practices good habits, and my instructor kind of said the same thing, that like, you know, I did well with keeping my inputs smooth and being, you know, conservative. And sometimes getting onto the curbs or onto the painted curbs, it gets a little slippery, or there was some little puddles gathering like between, you know, the asphalt and the curb, like where the cracks were. But I, you know, I have a decent amount of experience hydroplaning on purpose or accident. So I, you know, just made sure I didn't do anything too drastic when that happened, and, you know, made it through the session. There wasn't a lot that happened around me. There was a couple spin outs I heard, but nothing too serious. So looking forward to the rest of the sessions on the day. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. It's sunny right now, so, well, sunny compared to earlier. So really hoping the track dries out a bit. I'd really like to keep applying some more pace to the things I've learned, and that's where things start to change. You know, your turn-in points are the same, your lines are the same, but when you add pace to it, it changes everything, right? So I'm looking forward to adding a little speed to everything. That's what I want to do. I mean, incrementally, of course, but, you know, everybody wants to start adding a little bit here and there, and, you know, we'll see where this next session goes. Catch you then. All right, we wrapped up another solid NASA day. Love coming out here and driving with them, especially as a beginner myself. Had 2 really great instructors this weekend. I got one last hot session in, really applied everything I learned. Got to push it, especially in the high speed corners, and really working on my entrances on the weird off camber turns in 3 and 5. Also in the entry to 11 and getting into the 14-15 link for the last straightaway and finish line. This track is a lot of fun. I came in a little cautious and, you know, I ended up the weekend confident. So I'd say it's a win. We had a great time camping out with everybody, meeting new people, meeting new flaggers, new instructors, new drivers, new workers, tons of people. It was a great time. Like, that's a win in any book. So absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, the last session of the day, I was about to grid back up and they black flagged the whole track, had everybody come in because there was a lightning strike reported within 2 miles. And you could see the fat clouds blowing in and dumping rain and the lightning. And they said they can't have their flaggers out there in metal boxes with a close lightning strike. And totally get that. Don't want anybody to be unsafe, whether they're a driver or worker or anybody, especially the flaggers. They're keeping us safe all weekend. So last thing we want to see is something like that. So didn't mind at all. You know, my car was still hot. I was airing out my tires. I had a 20-minute break between my last 2 sessions. So I was gearing back up to go. But, you know, it is what it is. Got all packed up, ready to go. We got the work sedan packed to the gills. And, you know, just can't wait till May, Sonoma. Sonoma's the home track. Back to working on that. Learned some new things today that I can apply there for sure. There's some similar turns and entrances, especially after high-speed straights. A lot of similarities. But yeah, can't thank NASA enough. The hospitality, the tacos and beer on Saturday night after a long day in the rain and racing, that was amazing. They're so friendly, so welcoming. Everybody from top to bottom, a great time with them. Can't wait to go to some more NASA days this year. It's only the beginning. So we're going to be posting a lot of full sessions, a lot of stuff. We'll be posting them in the cards and links here, so you'll be able to go check in on full sessions from me, from Tyler, from everybody that was out here this weekend. Going to be some good watch. Going to review myself too. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate every bit of support. Any button you want to hit, like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you want to see more of. Someone commented and said we want to see more driving footage, so we started posting all of our full sessions. I want to see that. We're going to do some build breakdowns. We got some new parts coming in for some of our cars. Going to be detailing those. Got another couple new partnerships that we're going to be announcing soon too, so be on the lookout for that. We're always moving. There's always motion, whether we're on track or not. We're speeding. So good to see you guys again. Can't wait to post some more stuff for everybody to enjoy. Check in next time, and don't forget to start racing. See ya. sure that's a thunderstorm. It looked like a tornado, boy. Are we in Kansas now? Well, here's the answer. Not a tornado, but cats and dogs, boy.